Today, we'll be learning about an SCP that has a planet as its stomach. Let's check it out.
As you can clearly see, this completely throws our entire understanding of our place in the universe into complete disarray, says the astronomer, as he excitedly makes his case to a panel of aged and supposedly learned advisors.
They look fed up with him.
My observations leave no doubt that everything we previously suspected to be the absolute truth is wrong.
Okay, Einstein.
Advisors murmur and lean close together to whisper to each other. The astronomer can't hear what they are saying, but the passion and joy that he felt as he explained his findings to the room is quickly draining from his face. He can see the men mouthing the words, "No," "lies," as they make disapproving gestures.
Oh no.
How could this be? Had they not understood what he was showing them?
No,
Maybe he
clearly.
didn't explain things in a way that they could comprehend. Here he was, the greatest scientist of his day, presenting hard facts, backed up by rigorous observations, and this was their reaction.
Boo!
The group of
They're
advisors
really
finished
booing
conferring
him.
and grow quiet. The chief advisor clears his throat, and everyone in the room waits for him to speak. Royal Scientist, this panel has examined your findings and listened to your theories. The advisor can't help but sneer at the word.
Why?
It has decided that the ideas you present are not only incorrect, but dangerous.
Oh,
The
dangerous.
astronomer can't believe what he's hearing. This panel, acting under the authority of the king, has charged you with the crime of heresy. The astronomer is shocked.
Oh, no.
He steps towards the panel to plead with them, but he's stopped by a pair of guards who
Oh my
grab him
gosh,
by
they're
the
gonna
arms.
imprison him.
Stop, I'm a
Or
man of science.
maybe even
I only
worse.
presented you with the truth. But no one seems moved by his appeals. The panel watches as the astronomer is dragged from the room, kicking and fighting, still insisting on his innocence.
Yo, they literally just sent the man to death and they're about to like chow down on a giant pig.
Dragged from the room, kicking and fighting.
Only
still
royalty does
insisting on his
this.
Innocence. The screams echo through
Oh
the
no,
dungeon
wait,
as
whoa,
the
whoa, whoa,
torturer
whoa,
cranks
whoa.
another notch on
Whoa,
the rack,
what are we
stretching
doing?
the astronomer's body
Hey!
just a little bit more.
Hey,
He has no
let's
idea
not
how
do
long
that,
this has been
okay?
going on. Hours, days. The pain has been excruciating.
Is this how the
without end.
SCP is
He
created?
closes his eyes, trying to escape the torture by retreating into his mind, but he's slapped on the
Oh.
face and brought back to the reality of his situation. Standing in front of him is the chief advisor, the same one who sentenced him to this inhumane treatment.
I don't think I like the chief
You can end
advisor.
this anytime you like. Simply recant your statements and admit you were mistaken, and all of this will be over.
I would personally just
Astronomers
admit that I
unsure
was
if by
stupid
over
and that I was
means
wrong.
That they will release him, or simply kill him to put him out of his misery. But it didn't matter which the right answer was. He couldn't lie. The astronomer knew the truth, and no amount of pain, no matter how intense or how long they submitted him to it, would change what he now knew. Disappointed with the astronomer's steadfastness, the advisor signals to the torturer and cranks the rack again,
I don't like
stretching the
this.
astronomer's body to the point where he feels like his bones might pop out of his sockets.
I don't like
Recant, the advisor screams,
My bones are
repeating the
tingling.
word over and over, growing louder as the astronomer's own cries increase from the pain caused by the torturer cranking the rack more and
Let's
more.
not do this.
The astronomer closes his eyes again. He's certain this will be the end of him soon, and that he will die with the great secret he's learned without getting the chance to share it with the world.
What is the great
Suddenly,
secret? That the world is
astronomer notices
round?
That the room has gone quiet. The advisor is no longer yelling, and the torturer has stopped operating the machine. The astronomer opens his eyes to see the advisor and the torturer both in a deep bow.
What?
His gaze continues up, and he sees the king himself
Oh,
standing in front of him.
okay.
The
What's
king
up,
stares
Your
at the
Highness?
astronomer for what feels like an eternity, before simply asking, "Is it true?" The astronomer, limbs still stretched on the rack, manages a nod, and with his remaining strength whispers, "It's true." The king motions with his hand to the torturer.
That is a
who stands
long
up and begins
fingy.
releasing the astronomer from his constraints. The advisor protests, "But my lord, this man..." But he's cut off by the king with a stern look and retreats back into his deep bow. "Show me," the king says, as the astronomer stands, rubbing his sore shoulders where the tendons and muscles were stretched far beyond their natural limits. The astronomer opens the door to his laboratory and gestures for the king to enter.
Okay, guys, comment down below what you think is going to be behind this door. I honestly think that it's going to be whatever this SCP is, the abdominal planet, which I think is a person that has a planet as their stomach.
The room is a mess of
Oh,
papers
never mind.
and scientific equipment, a reflection of the busy and scattered mind of the man who works here. The king is immediately drawn to a table with a large scroll. He spreads it across the table and examines it, but his face betrays no hint of what he is thinking. Is this what you showed my advisors? The astronomer
Interesting.
nods yes. Would you like to see for yourself? The astronomer motions to the window, where a brass tube is attached to a tripod.
Ah, a
The king
telescope.
approaches the device, but
Yes.
doesn't know how it works. The astronomer demonstrates by looking through the eyepiece. He moves it slightly, making small adjustments to make sure it is just right for the king. There, now look. The king bends over to peer through the telescope, and a look of shock comes over his face.
What did he
What
see?
he sees
A
is the
planet?
most incredible thing
sun?
he has ever witnessed.
Uranus?
There, far
Huh?
above up in the sky, unable to be seen by the naked eye, is a man,
Whoa,
and he is
whoa.
staring back at him.
Hey, yo, what's going on?
The planet that this played out on was not Earth,
Oh,
but
what?
a bizarre place that
Huh?
is one of the strangest anomalies in the entire SCP.
So, okay, I was completely wrong. So, the planet is actually the planet that they're on, but the theory that this guy had is that the planet is the stomach of a giant godlike human. I did not see that coming.
Foundation Archive. This is SCP-007,
Whoa,
also
007,
known as
James Bond.
Abdominal Planet. SCP-007 is a spherical object located in the abdomen of a young man.
That is the
Or
strangest
rather, in
thing.
the space where his abdomen should be.
So,
since
what?
most of the muscle, skin, and organs that should be present.
It looks
simply
like
are not.
Earth, but it's
The
not.
subject, a Caucasian male in his mid-20s of average height and build, does not appear affected by the large missing portion of his body. And is not
Average
reported
height?
experiencing pain or discomfort of any kind.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Hold on. Hold the phone. Okay, so never mind. I was wrong again. So this SCP is a normal-sized human in our world, but in his stomach, he has an entire planet. Kind of like Horton Hears a Who, where, you know, the giant elephant finds like a tiny little flower, and then on that flower, there's a little speck, and the speck has an entire universe within it. That's kind of like what we're talking about here, except the little speck is this guy's stomach, and instead of his actual stomach, it's a planet that's his stomach. I think I'm starting to understand.
In the space where his abdominal muscles and organs should be is a small globe composed of soil and water. This sphere, which measures roughly 60 centimeters in diameter, resembles the planet Earth, though the arrangement of the continents does not match any known configuration from our own planet's history.
Interesting.
The tiny planet has its own weather patterns,
Whoa.
and even a small but still detectable gravitational pull.
They just sent a meteor into orbit.
Perhaps the most fascinating aspect of SCP-007 is that it appears to be inhabited. Microscopic organisms that would correspond to roughly the scale of human beings on Earth have been observed on the surface of the planet.
Wow.
So far, 2 distinct intelligent species have been identified.
Oh, there's
Both of whom
2.
seem to possess a technological level similar to the 15th century on Earth.
Interesting.
It is unknown if the inhabitants of the abdominal planet are aware of the world outside of their planet.
Well,
And
now they are.
communication attempts with the planet's occupants have been placed on hold by senior Foundation officials, pending further study into what effect an exchange may have on them or us. The human subject within which SCP-007 is located provided the Foundation with a name that he claims to be his, but no records of such a person existing have
Huh.
yet to be located. Upon being questioned about the lack of records, he willfully offered both a social security and driver's license number, but when they were checked against current records, neither had yet to be assigned by the U.S. government. And
Interesting.
the mysteries surrounding this man don't stop there. The subject has not shown the need for either food or water, and it is unknown what energy source his body continues to operate on without nutrition.
How
He
is his
capable of
body
both
still
eating and
alive?
drinking, though, despite the large missing section of his stomach. But it is still not known what happens to the substances after he swallows them. The man has above average intelligence and scored a 128 on an administered IQ test.
Okay,
He also
pretty good.
generally appears friendly and amiable, and expresses only a passing curiosity about the planet located within his abdomen and how it came to be there. When asked about the origins of the planet, he replied very matter-of-factly that, "I just woke up one day and there it was. I don't have any..."
Wait, that is the most random thing. He literally didn't freak out. He was like, okay, cool. I'm going to wake up and I'm going to grab some breakfast. And then he looks down and oops. Oh, look at that. I have a planet as a stomach. How are you not fazed by that?
Any idea how it got there? Due to the poorly understood nature of SCP-007, it has been classified as Euclid, and the small planet and the man it resides in are contained in a sealed, comfortably furnished 10 by 10 meter room that the subject is not allowed to leave. The subject is to be monitored closely by Foundation staff and has a weekly chess game with one of the attending doctors,
Interesting,
which also serves
okay.
as an opportunity to evaluate his mental health. So far, he has not shown any signs of mental illness or violent tendencies.
I am kind of curious why the SCP Foundation, isn't really doing anything, that they aren't, investigating the planet inside of this guy's stomach more, especially because they know there's like a species living there. There's actually 2 different species. There's like a whole ecosystem of people and probably also like animals and different sea life. And like they could probably learn a lot from his Earth-like stomach. So I don't know why they're not doing more research on that.
And seems to be quite content. In general, he appears happy with his restricted living situation inside the Foundation facility and has made no attempts to escape. The subject has made multiple requests for access to a computer with an internet connection, but due to potential security risks, this request has thus far been denied.